United States of America. Darlings, I'm still trying to process all my experiences I've encountered since I set foot in this beautiful country. In this video, I'll be sharing some of my biggest culture shocks I've experienced in the United States of America. Bear in mind, the culture shocks that I experience might not shock you at all, since when we travel, we all carry different cultural lenses. Hence, talking from a perspective of a Kenyan who was born and raised from Africa. So it's important to make it clear out there that these are my experiences. Without wasting your time, let's dive into it. Guys, I had to change my location. Okay, now I'm clear. Can you guys see me? I'm really sorry. In case you see me looking side to side, my baby is playing. So I had to finish this video in the car. So I'm seated in my driveway. I'm seated in the driveway watching over him, the side mirrors and everything. But our neighborhood is very safe. So the child is safe, okay? So I do have my notes over here. I'll be looking onto them each and every time I'm talking to you guys. The first culture shock that I experienced is when I just set my foot in this country. On arrival, guys, the US has the most beautiful airports, and to my shock, this country has more than 500 airports. I was super shocked. But what shocked me the most, guys, is when you're in the airport, you see like the carts that you use to put on like your heavy bags. In my country, these carts are free. They're just all over the place. You can bump into them when you're checking in, bump into them when you're driving on your way to the airport. Like, they're free, like you don't have to pay for them. But here in the US, you have to pay for those carts. I was so shocked because one day I was going to get a cart and they are well arranged. I was just like shaking onto it. I'm like, why is the cart not coming out? That was my first day in the US, okay? So someone saw me struggling and they're like, oh, girl, here you have to pay for your cart. I was so shocked. And at the same time, I was a little bit pissed off because I'm like, never knew that I'm going to pay for my cart after I've already paid for my ticket too. The airports are so big to a point that they also have like trains. In my country I come from, we don't have trains in our airport. Most of the time you just have to walk around and you'll get to your airport. The food portions here, oh my God, they are so massive. If you're coming to America and you know you're this kind of person who don't eat so much, instead of you saying large, it's better for you to order medium. They have small, medium and large. Don't ask for a large because their food quantity is a lot. like, so I came to learn, like, if I really want to eat food, especially with the fast food meals, I really don't ask for large portions. If I'm not hungry, I will do a small portion. If I'm super hungry, I will do medium portion. My next culture shock is people here in the US don't cook a lot. A lot of people do a lot of, like, we do have a lot of restaurants here, so people eat out a lot more than cooking in their houses. Of which back at home we do have kitchen gardens. We go get our fresh groceries and prepare our meals. So we believe in eating what we've planted. But here in the US, they love to go to the restaurants. Besides you going to the restaurant, guys, the other culture is tipping here is mandatory. So depending on, my little one is here. Yes, baby.
We're not going.
I'm not going, baby. I'm recording.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to come and sit here, but you be quiet?
I want to close the door.
Okay, close the door then. Yeah, that's my little that's my little one. I'm watching over him as I'm recording for you guys. He just interrupted me. What was I saying? I was talking about tipping. Yeah, tipping is a must. Tipping is a must here in the US. Then what I came to notice, like, depending on the type of restaurant you're going to, when you're going to like high-end restaurant, at times they already have like the gratuity tips already added in your meals. But at times, if you have, I think they start from 6, if not 6, 8. If you have more than 6 people on the table, they add the tip on your food, meaning you're already tipping your servers or your attendants whenever the food comes up. So it's up to you to figure out whether you want to give out the second tip or you just want to let the inclusive tip to be the one. But most of the time, the tip, I think they normally do like 20% on what you've spent. And I feel like that is substantial amount for them to have, because mostly these high-end restaurants, the food is expensive. So when they do 20% of what your total comes up to, you end up tipping a lot. But sometimes I just love to add a little bit of something, because especially if I get a server who is nice, patient, accommodating, I love to add an extra tip. But it's up to you. You really don't have to add. But most of the time, you have to tip. Tipping is a must. Tipping is a culture here. If you don't tip, people will be looking at you like, which world are you coming from? Okay. The way they tax things over here is totally different. Like, they tax you on each and every level. So these are my levels. When you go to work, you get your salary, they tax you. When you go to the supermarket, you're spending your money, even though they've already taxed your salary, you're still paying taxes on everything that you're buying. And it depends on which states you're in. We do have states that you have to pay taxes twice. We do have federal taxes and state tax. So you can imagine, when you get money on your paycheck, you're paying state tax and federal tax. When I'm from work and I don't have gas in my car and I'm going to pay for my gas, they tax me and I have to pay state tax and federal tax. So there is tax everywhere you go. I feel like tax in this country is overrated, is overdone, and yeah, it's just crazy. Hence, means of living in this country is super, super high. People value time in this country to a point that each and every time they're paying you, they have to pay you per hour. So there's nothing like you're going to work and spending extra hours that you're not being paid for. I know the only jobs that do that is when you're a flight attendant. Theirs is different. Like, they don't pay you while you're in the airport. They only pay you while you're flying, like once the door is closed. And there's some stipend money. They give you like $2 per hour each and every time you're on the ground, but that one is not taxed. But for any other regular job, once you clock in, they pay you per hour. I was super, super shocked, because back in my country, we have most like 9 to 5 jobs. Then they put us on salary. We don't have like, I have to work per hour. So here you're being paid for the hours you're at work. If you work 1 hour, they're gonna pay you for that 1 hour. If you work 2 hours, they're gonna pay you for those 2 hours. So their pay rate here is different, and also depending on what kind of job you're doing, type of industry you're working in. And the other thing, besides them paying you per hour, guys, they don't pay you monthly. They pay you every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks you're having a check coming. I'm telling you, if you tell an American you're gonna pay them, they have to work for 30 days, then you pay, like, they have to work for 29 days, then you pay them on the 30th day. You're looking forward to a third world war. We do have people who get paid weekly, but most companies here in the US, they do pay bi-weekly, meaning every 2 weeks you're having a check in your account, which is very good. I really love that. But you really have to be smart when you're getting your paychecks. You have to know how to distribute your money, or else once your money come in, that money is gonna be gone so quick. Which takes me to another point. Life here in America is very expensive. Whew. One moment. If you see me, oh, okay. If you see me, I was recording inside the house, but I had to come outside because my baby wants to play, and right now I'm in the car watching him play and at the same time recording this video. Whew, being a mom, multitasking. Okay, let's continue. Life here in the US is very expensive. You literally have to pay for everything you're using. Like the basic needs in the US is house, car, and food. Beside that, they also have utility bills, they do have entertainment bills, they do have house insurance, they do have car insurance. And the most shocking thing that baffled me, guys, like if you own a car, depending on your years of experience, your age, the location you're living in, you can pay crazy amount of money on your car insurance alone. I remember, guys, when I didn't have any driving experience when I came to the US, I think my car insurance was higher than my car note because I was not over 30 years old. The location I was staying in, it was known to be having like a lot of accidents. I didn't have driving experience. Then also type of a car. If you're driving older car and a newer car, you get to pay insurance more on newer car, because in case you get into an accident, they're trying to take a lot of money from you so that in case something happens, they already have accumulated most of the money that they need to take from you so that they don't go at a loss. I was super shocked. Beside that, my car insurance was, I've ever paid a car insurance for, it was $487, close to $500, and my car note was $300. Almost 200 plus. Almost $200 higher than my car note. So you can imagine. So it's very expensive. Public means of transport is super limited. People do a lot of like self-driving or private driving. You must own a car because people work different times, different schedules, and you have to at times like drive a longer distance for you to go to your next destination. And basically in most cities, apart from like New York that has like efficient taxis and train transportation. Most of the cities here, they're very vast and they use buses, but with buses you have to go downtown. You have to be like downtown for you to be able to get access to them. So people who use those means of transport are people who are not able to afford transportation, and maybe they are living close to town and they don't want to own a car, so they prefer doing that. But still, when you're living downtown or close where they have like easy accessible means of transportation, it's expensive just living downtown in general. When you're going to work, you can choose whether you want to be a full-time worker, a part-time worker, or a PRN person. So PRN person, they just call you when they need you. Part-time, you do have like a certain amount of hours you have to attain for you to retain your part-time position. And a full-time person, you don't have a choice but to work either Monday through Friday or the 40 hours a week, which I feel it's very, very good, thoughtful of them to do that, because they understand life happens. And so if you're a person who has a significant other who is doing well in life, and you're not able to work full time, you are able to stay home with your kids to save on childcare fee, you know, because childcare here is very expensive. Whew. Unlike back in Africa, since I'm on salary, I just have to work my hours. Yes. Let me know, because I worked back at home. I worked for a company where I had to be there from specific time of hours, but we also have shifts where I had to work like 8 hours or at times 12 hours, depending whether the flights are delayed or not, the weather, the schedule and everything. So it depends. I just appreciate that, like, life is flexible here, you know, like, beside it being expensive and crazy, I can still plan and go around it and still get work done the way I want it to be done. The credit card, use of credit cards. In this country, money doesn't talk. And let me explain why money don't talk in this country. Money don't talk in this country unless you have good credit. Then your money will talk for you. If you don't have good credit, your money ain't a thing. Okay? Because when you're going to purchase a car, they have to look at your credit score. If you have a bad credit, even if you have to put how much down, you're still gonna pay those high interest rate, baby. If you want to purchase a house, your credit score is down, my darling, they're not gonna approve you for that mortgage. And the worst is when you want to rent, guys. When you're renting, they want you to at least make 4 times of what you're earning, they want you to earn 4 times. Let me rephrase it. Hold on. If you're renting, they want you to earn at least 4 times of your mortgage payment. Let me explain this so that I don't confuse you. We're gonna use simple maths. Sorry, I have to look for the little one first. Okay, I see him. He's right there. So, simple math is, let's say if my rent is $1,000 a month, they need me to be earning $4,000 a month for it to show that I'm able to afford that house. To me, that doesn't make sense, because listen, most jobs here they try to underpay you so that they can get so much from you by paying you less. And there's no way you're gonna make $4,000 for you to be able to afford a $1,000 house monthly. I hope I'm making sense. If you don't understand, let me know. I might do a specific video on that. Let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to do a whole video trying to explain the logic behind you renting a house in the US. For me, that doesn't make sense. So what normally happens is, if you want to purchase any property, if you want to rent a house, most people, what they do, you have to either have a loyal family member who is willing to like co-sign for you. Co-signing means someone is putting their names down and they're admitting that in case you are not able to pay the rent, they're gonna come for this person who is co-signing for you. And most of the time, most people do not like doing that, because if the person you're co-signing for misses their payment, the person who is not paying the rent, the credit score goes down and the co-signer's credit score goes down. So it's a lose-lose situation, and people don't like doing that. Hence, high rates of homeless people here in the US. Let me know if you want me to do a video on that. I'll gladly do that for you, specifically explaining how renting process goes in here in the US. The other culture shock I experience in this country is paid vacations. So unlike other countries where, let's say, when the year starts, you already have vacations. And at times I remember my manager used to come to me and they would be forcing us to like already plan our vacation ahead of time, because the government has already given you vacations, and those vacation, it doesn't include weekends and some public holidays like governmental holidays. So let's say if I have 10 days to go on a vacation, right? So I will apply for those 10 days, but depending on which season I'm applying for those 10 days, let's say if we have Christmas, right? I apply for 10 days, let's say beginning of the 24th. So on the 24th, they're not gonna count that. So on the 24th and the 25th, those are public holidays, so it's not considered. So even Boxing Day, I think they consider is a holiday back at home. So my 10 days will start from 27th. So I'll have 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. And when it comes to New Year's Eve, that is considered a holiday. The New Year's, that is considered another holiday. They're not gonna count that in my PTO. So when I take 10 days, I will literally be gone for almost 20 to 25 days, and I will still be paid for my vacation because that is guaranteed. But here in the US, oh my God, I almost fainted, guys. So here in the US, I remember when I was just beginning, I had worked for almost like 1 year, and I was like, oh, I've worked for 1 year and my manager is not even calling me to ask me about my vacation, like when am I going for my vacation. So when I went to my manager to ask her about my vacation, she was like, oh, let me check if you've accumulated enough PTO. Then I was like, what do you mean PTO? So PTO here is, they call it paid time off. So literally in the US, you have to work, you have to earn your holidays. You have to work for you to get your holidays. And I think per year they only give you you only accumulate like 7 days or 12 days. Maximum of most companies, they do like 12 days. And I'm just like, that is a ripoff. And that's why people here work a lot, because the other thing, like if you don't go to work, since you've not accumulated enough PTO for them to pay you, they're not gonna pay you. So that is like the biggest culture shock that I've ever experienced here. I'm sorry guys, if you see me keep on looking around, I'm just watching over my baby. He's right here and I'm just watching over him, making sure that he's good as I'm recording for you guys. So yeah, so that is the other thing, like you have to work. Come on baby. Okay, so you have to literally work for you to accrue your vacations. I'm like, that's crazy, and that one was just like that stressed me out. Prolonging to PTOs. The other shocking culture in this country is the maternity leave. Guys, that is a story for another day. If you're expecting, so if your normal delivery, they only allow you to be at home for 4 weeks. If you've done CS, they only allow you to be at home for 6 weeks. Then after that, that is it. That is the only paid maternity leave you're gonna get, unless you've accumulated enough PTO. And I'm just like, wow, like give us at least 3 months, 3 paid months, because I feel like 4 weeks, it's very limited. First of all, you're still healing, and I'm just talking this from my experience because I remember when I had my baby, guys, those 4 weeks go by so fast, and I was just like, this is crazy. I can't imagine like I'm going to work after 4 weeks. You're still learning to feed, you're still learning your baby, you're still learning the characters of your baby. If you're a first mom, is even worse because the emotions are very high. If you're a single mom, that is totally on another level because you have no one is helping you out. You have to deal with postpartum issues, and I'm just like, this is too much. Guys, I'm not complaining, but I just feel like the US government should do something for mothers, because that is just too much. So thank God for me, I had saved enough money when I was expecting, and I was able to stay at home with my baby for 9 months before going back to work. And like in other countries, I remember like in Kenya, I'm from Kenya. In Kenya, especially like when the company knows like you're expecting and you're gonna have a baby, they're not gonna allow you use your government given days. That is like 35 days. So let's say if you're expecting, you can choose not to use those days, and when you're going for your maternity leave, you can you can start with your maternity leave. So the maternity leave, they normally give you between 3 months to 6 months. Then after your maternity leave is over, now you can choose to utilize your previous year vacation days, and those ones now they'll be, when you're on maternity leave, they don't include everything is inclusive. So let's say if they're giving you 90 days, they're going to count all those 90 days like Monday through Sunday, even if it's during holidays, okay? But once your maternity leave is finished, now you can dive into your last year's vacation days that you had saved. Let's say if you have 35 days, you can stay at home for at least 2 months and some change, because remember, since you're using your vacation days, this is exclusive of weekends and holidays. Then after that, you can either choose to utilize your days from your upcoming year that you've already started, or choose to go back to work. So by the time you're going back to work, your baby is almost 7 months, 9 months, and voila, life is still going on. You feel good, you feel energized, you feel you're ready to go back to work. And I just feel like that is what each and every woman should experience and should have. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think? Or do you think I'm just bluffing? America is super duper big. I think it has 51 states, if I'm not wrong. Don't quote me. Yeah, it's either 50 or 51 states, but I think it's 51 states. America is super big, and at times, right now for me, I reside in Atlanta. From Atlanta, if I want to go to Los Angeles, that is a difference of 5. I have to take a flight for 5 hours. It's a 5-hour flight, and we have time difference of 3 hours. So we have some states, they have difference of 1 hour, 3 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I don't think we have more than 7 hours. I think it's a difference between 1 hour and 6 hours. And this country is just so beautiful. Everything is beautiful. The infrastructure is beautiful. The people here are beautiful. Everything is just beautiful. Like, it's magical. But don't quote me, because guys, we also have some hoods here in the US, and we also have people who are homeless and people who don't have food, just like in any other country or continent out there, of which in the US that is not mostly spoken about. People know US to be like one of the most superpower country, and everything is readily available to each and every citizen, which is not the case once you get here. Beside the 51 states, each state have their own flag, which I find it to be very, very beautiful. Then the other thing about American citizens, guys, these people are so loyal to their countries, and I've got to experience, like, when I'm driving, most of the time when I pass through the houses, most of the houses, they have the American flags, like they're very patriotic to their country. And even when they are singing their national anthem, you can see how deeply they are connected to their country, how much they love their country. Like, you can relate with them. Like, I remember one day I went for the game, because that's where I normally see most people, like, perform their national anthem when I go to the game. Like, most of the time I just feel like, oh my God, I'm like one of them. You just feel welcomed when they're singing the national anthem. You can feel it. You can see, like, everybody's hearts raising to each and every word of their national language. That is one thing I really appreciate about Americans. They're very loyal to their country, and it's something that they take pride in. And I'm just proud to be in this country where people love, appreciate, and get to enjoy the freedom that was given to them. So that is one that I think that is like one of my most like defining moments here in the US, like when I just see people sing the national anthem and they're just deeply falling in love with it. And sometimes once it ends, some people cry. I'm just like, yeah. So, and maybe I'll soon be learning And so one day I might recite for you, I will sing for you the American national anthem because I just love it. And what I love about it too, guys, I can talk this about their loyalty for hours. I love like when the eagle just come flying and the flags comes over. It's amazing. It's a beautiful experience. The other most beautiful culture shock I experienced in the US is like they do have online classes and they also have in-person classes, but they also embrace the online classes. And with them embracing the online classes, this gives you a chance where you can go to school, but at the same time you have a chance to go to work. And I just feel like this is very, very beautiful. They are looking out for their citizens, for their upcoming leaders, students, managers, directors, you name it. And the other beauty I love about this, guys, because when I came to this country, I was not financially stable, but since I was not financially stable, but since they embraced the online learning, I was able to work full-time job, but at the same time go to school and finish my master's degree. I was just like, this is like the best thing ever. And like in my country where it's either you're going to school full-time and not working, or either you're working and not going to school. Hence, most people, before they even get work back in Kenya, hence, most of the time, most people, before they get their dream jobs, they really have to go through primary school, secondary school, then after that go to university. Then from university you can now get to apply for an internship. Then after the internship you can get your dream job. That is if you're lucky, because in Africa jobs are very limited. And that brings me to the next point. Like here they do have jobs available. Let's say if I don't like my job now, I can quit my job now and tomorrow I have another job. Like jobs are, people are hiring every day 24/7. You can never go without a job. Speak of supermarket jobs, petrol station jobs, hospital jobs, airline jobs, office jobs, banks, all kinds of jobs. And one thing I really appreciate about America, they really don't care what type of job you're working, as long as you're getting money. Money is money. And here in America, most jobs that pay better, they're the like manual jobs. Construction workers, truck drivers, work in the hospital, mechanics, like those people who do like manual handy jobs, they get way better money than someone who is working in the office. And like in Africa, those people who work in the office, they get paid way more than someone who is a construction worker or someone who is doing like a handy job, which is sad. Which is sad. So I love that about America. Extreme culture shock I experienced in this country. We do have accents in this country, left, right, center. But to my knowledge, I could not recognize like a person from New York talks different from a person from New York talks different from a person in Atlanta, California, Alabama. I cannot notice, I cannot tell the difference. As long as you talk, you speak, and I can understand you, you're speaking English to me. But here, apparently, people can really tell where you are from your accent. So like all the 51 states, each state has a different accent. So someone who is from Georgia speaks a different accent from someone who is from Florida, and they also have their own jargons. I was like, okay. In Africa, we just know, like here in the US, mostly like in the Western world, people speak the same language. Like if it's English, it's English. It's not like in Africa where we have like different dialects. So here they have different accents, and I think those are their dialects. Darlings, those are some of my most extreme culture shocks I've experienced here in the US. Let me know in the comment section below. Can you relate with what I'm saying? What culture shocks have you experienced when you've traveled to other countries? How did you feel? How were the people? How was your interaction? Was everything okay? Did you feel welcomed? Were you shy to express yourself? Let me know in the comment section below so that other people can get to learn from you. With that being said, I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for taking your time to come and listen to me, spend time with me. For my returning subscribers, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you so much. Thank you so much for your loyalty. I really appreciate you guys. For my new subscribers, thank you so much for believing in me. Welcome home. Please consider subscribing if you've not subscribed to this channel yet, so that you can help me grow. Until next time, see you on my next one. Bye.